Hi everyone, my name is Fiorella Cornejo and I am here to give you a course and how to remove mental blocks. So first of all, I went through a big depression and I couldn't find solutions, physical solutions. I mean, I read everything about past lives. I read Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Oprah. I read books about psychology. I feel like I became a master in psychology, but I still didn't have tools, action, physical activities that I can do to remove these mental repetitions I was having in my head of failure or fear. So, for example, I had a 10-year relationship that ended. I ended on the way to having cancer, on the way to being so sick, and on the way to losing my son. So I learn these techniques that I'm gonna bring to you because it is so important for us to find the intention why we do things. So my intention was, before doing everything to get my son out of the situation, and from being a professional to ended up at my mom in one of her rooms, and with limited mindset, waiting for someone to give me my power. So I actually suffered from domestic violence as a child when I was young, before I turned 10. And you know, you put these moments, even if it's 3, 2, 5, 10, you put them at one point on the back of your head and you move forward. And that's self-preservation, right? To hide so we can move forward. However, at one point, when you encounter the triggers, they become blocks, because you have a belief that you never let go. And even though you put it in the back of your head, the belief still followed you as part of your personality, as part of your self-preservation and your self-protection, you know. So I feel like I went through so much in order for me to be here, right? I went through the parents that will fight and get into this physical, throwing things around, holding each other fearful, a mother being dragged from like small areas but in a house, and the kids like trying to defend her. Those memories are unique. Those memories are the ones that get you to the path of knowledge, of the right way to live. Because even though those examples are your heroes' examples, they somehow work. People can still survive after that, right? And life does not end after a dramatic moment. I mean, I was bullied by my sister or brother at one point, then by the city that I lived. I was robbed a few times. I encountered a group of bully girls, and they bully my friends, and then eventually I became that person, because self-preservation, right, is security. So becoming a bully myself became very secure. So that's on my early teens. You know, I stole multiple times, and I got kicked out of 2 schools, ended up studying in 3 places back home in Venezuela. Then I moved to US. I don't know the language, so I just had to move back from this life of aggressive city to a life in Florida, where it's very peaceful, and in a small town, learning a new language, trying to realize what that is. I hid myself on boyfriends. I would like quiet down and let them speak English for me. I will relinquish all my power for them to maintain me, my happiness. And that went on, and then I started having boyfriends and realizing that they're not good enough. They're not good enough because they don't want to work as hard as I want to work. I had the boyfriend without the high school diploma while I'm going to college and having a job and doing both full times. I had the boyfriend that had all the potentials and tried really hard, but and losing their jobs, or not be feeling pessimistic and not moving forward, being stuck in the relationship, being overly jealous. Like I kept giving my power to other entities. I kept giving my power to my siblings. If I didn't notice that they were growing, I could not grow past them. It would be embarrassed if I was better than my brother or my sister. So all of these are blocks. Like even the way you look at foods, even the way you going to pay with your card. Oh, maybe I use my credit card instead, and all this mental process happening while you're actually paying for necessities, or any, oh, maybe I put one down, and all those are blocks. When you tell yourself, I am going to sacrifice myself, I'm going to sacrifice myself. So now that we know a little bit of like why I am able to recognize them, is that through my journey I became an energy healer. I'm tuned to the psychic, and also tuned to the vibration and the energy that people, everything has, because everything is energy, right? So the blocks, you have to understand why you have them and where it's actually, like, what is happening to your brain, right? Like, you have to understand that in your mind, the mind does not stop thinking. Like the heart does not stop pumping and palpitating. The mind goes the same way. Now you have the origins, of where the mind, what the mind is doing, right? So you have to understand that the mind can perceive thoughts, ideas, perceptions, vibrations, okay? Your mind can perceive all of them, and they come from many places, right? So they come from either past lives, if you believe in past lives, future, if you are a little psychic, your present, your entire age you have right now. They also come from other people thinking about, They also come from substances like water. It's proven that water has memory. You can go and search for all of this. I can give you links if you need to figure this part beyond, right? Objects, right? Like objects carry energy. That's why I used to go to the thrift store all the time. I love that. But then I found myself like filled up with energies when I learned about energy, when I learned what it does, right? And how you can energize yourself and keep your house and your friends around, your family, your loved ones energized with your personal energy, right? So in the universal, obviously we're going to talk about the universal energy we're receiving, right? So family and people have in tune, mind in tune with you. They're very alike, but at the same time they are individuals, so they are independent. But sometimes all those thoughts that you're getting might be intensified when you're around your family, right? Perceptions, anybody that has given you a gossip, a lie that you take with you, and there might not even be real, so you cannot make anything with that. So what it does is starts entering, you're perceiving, right? You're perceiving time, space, dimension is all going through your mind, through visuals, to instances, to light sources, right? Through your reality that you've lived. So it is real, it's in your mind, you saw it, you lived it. I mean, it cannot be more real than that, right? So imagine all of this, right? You have this power to receive in so many ways. So feel good, because they are not so personal to yours. They're part of a conscience, right? An entire conscience that you share. And the more you open, you know, this ability to think more clear, you'll be able to discern what's not yours and what you can join and how you can protect that environment, okay? That's going to be a great thing. You know, for the mind, I mean, the mind is just getting all this information. If you are, you know, you perceive more, you see ahead of time, you watch a movie and you're like, I know the end, I can predict the whole thing. I mean, I used to do that. That's why it was one of those things that as a child I was like, why can I predict the whole movie? So you don't know, you're doing it through concentration. You know, like one of the greatest moments for me of concentration have been in front of the TV. You know, you just become zoned to it. So the same way, right? We're going to learn to concentrate. And first, let's think about you have what enters your mind, right? Like what's entering, right? But you also have what programs are running. So just like a computer, you have every part. You have a power, you have cables going through the power distributes to a memory bank, and the memory has a database, and that pretty much is a computer. And then the visual part, how back end, front end, is how all that gets to be displayed, which that probably is your material state, your real life, right? So when you go through this, knowing that we have a system, right, the programs that you're putting, what apps are you putting in your head, right? So we have apps already implanted from history. So you can do the research on this part, because this is a self-discovery, right? I can give you guidance and books about this information, right? So we have about 2,000 billion years in this state called planets and galaxies, okay? From zero, okay, the Big Bang, the spark of life, right? Spark of life created all the planets and all the galaxies. And just like we have evolved within one and grew humans in Earth, others are out there in their own entire evolution, and how they've used their time, how they use their environment to be created. So that's what we're gonna just start. We have gone through the Greek mythologies, the samurai stories, the Roman invasion, I mean, you name it, all these cultural trends, 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, like all of that has been your program. Okay, so you also have way more history of slavery, genocide, the Holocaust, crime, war. I mean, the news about crime, the fact that we have less crime in the last 20 years, this was a crime 20 years ago, this is a crime now. But the fact that there's a TV that only programs a little time of your day and enforces that there's more crime than you think and can play crime all day, like, it's unbelievable to me, you know, that people can think that crime is this and it's not, right? So gossip and all the lies that you've been perceiving, you know, hearing from anybody, from a show, from politics, information from your parents and your siblings. Everything that your parents have told you and your siblings have told you are programs in your head, right? So branding images, branding, I work for more than 15 years in branding, and I can tell you that it is made to get to your subconscious, to get you to remember with iconic typography and geometric shapes that can get your mind to lock into that brand, so you buy it. Same with colors, right? So TV shows that reflect a negative living, however, they are just like something that is a little discomfort, but you can live with that discomfort. Well, those things are perception as well. Certain reality TV show that you think that might be a real possibility, and at the same time that possibility gives you the negative ways to get there, now your personal way to get there. So that's why, like, we need to learn all these programs. That's why we need to focus that the programs are there and you're aware of them. And so the more you do that, the more they stop working. And then the life events in your life, I mean, those are your biggest blocks. Let's go ahead and go over the recap. A mental block can suppress the possibility of letting go of the negative emotions from personal experiences, perceptions, and ideas. How blocks enter the mind? Mostly during younger years, between 0 to 10 years of age, and from the life we are perceiving. What programs are running your mind? Cultural events, historic events, trends, friends and family experiences. Now, we're going to the next module, number 2, hidden blocks. Thank you.